RuneScape. Possibly one of the most grind-intensive MMOs ever created, with players spending hundreds or even thousands of hours maxing out their account stats and working towards some of the best gear in the game. Some players challenge themselves even further by cutting off all trade with other players, effectively forcing them to gather everything in the game by themselves. This is an Iron Man, which is Latin for asshole. Some Iron Men take it even further and cut off their ability to use banks entirely. This forces them to carry their whole account's progress in one inventory. And this is an Ultimate Iron Man. When Ultimate Iron Men die, they drop pretty much everything on them. They don't keep 3 items on death like a normal account, and they can't use the Protect Item Prayer either. Most of the time they can just run right back to where they died and pick up their items no problem. But if they die in the wilderness to another player, then that player might get billions of gold worth of loot, which can be worth thousands of dollars in real life. It's heartbreaking whenever these UIMs die and lose everything they've been working towards, but I'm also really interested to see what kind of loot they drop, so let's check it out. UI Panda is definitely no stranger to death and rebuilding, but this one hit especially hard. See, Ultimate Iron Men use looting bags to extend their inventory at the trade-off of having to go into the wilderness where other players can attack them in order to fill it with items. He got rushed and the loot was insane. Bandos and Seradomin God Swords, a Dragon Hunter crossbow, a Toxic Trident and Zamorakian Hosta, but worst of all, one of the most rare and expensive items in the entire game, an Elysian Spirit Shield. At the time, this PK was worth 800 million, but with the price of items going up, this would be worth well over 1 billion GP today. If this is hard to put in perspective, let me try and help. See, if a player were to spend real-life money to buy in-game bonds to sell for gold, they would have to buy $1,600 worth of bonds to afford 812 million GP. This isn't super realistic since most players won't spend $1,600 on bonds, but if this PKer wanted to sell his gold on the black market, which of course I don't recommend you do, he would make $430 cash. The worst loss isn't the gold though, but the time. Grinding out late game items as an Ultimate Iron Man is extremely difficult, time intensive, and tedious, and that inventory is the result of thousands of hours of work. This wilderness UIM ambush strategy is popular in PK clans, and this exact same PKer has tried the same thing on Settled before. Now we have a spicy PK deeper in the wilderness. Jay Gotti went to the lava maze to finish a master clue step, and he brought an alternate account to stay safe. See, normally you can only be in combat with one player at a time, so if he attacked himself, he'd be safe from any other players. However, he stepped into multi-combat.
Full void here with a fire cape. Bro, come here.
Coming.
In the Black Knights. He's got a ragger. Oh, it's multi right here. What the fuck? Am I getting lured? I just killed him. Full void fire cape.
No way.
Oh my god, 222 mil.
What? Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
A 222 million gold PK with some incredibly rare and expensive items. The Dragon Warhammer hit really hard because that item took me 6,640 kills to get on my Iron Man, and at about 60 kills per hour, that's over 110 hours worth of grinding. Getting these items is even harder with the limited inventory space of a UIM, so it would have taken them even longer. But even so, that's almost 3 weeks of working full-time, 40 hours a week for one item. Now we don't have a video for Elsie's death, but we do have a juicy loot screenshot. This kill was crazy, but what's insane is that this is one of the least valuable kills in the video. I mean, just look at some of those items. There's Zenite jewelry, a toxic blowpipe, a Zamorakian Hosta, and huge stacks of items like Zulrah scales, and even just cash. But the saddest part by far are those Pegasian boots, which require the stars to align for an Ultimate Iron Man to get. Not only do you have to grind out hundreds or potentially thousands of medium clues, but you also have to grind out hundreds or thousands of kills at Cerberus, one of the highest level Slayer bosses in the game. Now, you might have noticed that Elsie was killed by the same clan that killed UI Panda and that tried to kill Settled. Fools is a group of elite PKers who use a network of bots to monitor the wilderness niche near Edgeville and the Grand Exchange. Whenever high-ranked Ultimate Iron Men are seen heading to load their looting bag, they send a highly skilled assassin to click on the UIM and spec him twice. Most of the time they'll just step back to safety or teleport out, but the top-tier esports legends and PK clans are waiting for that one time when your internet lags out or your computer crashes. In a few seconds, they can clean you for everything, and That's how we got some of these clips. This tactic isn't exclusive to fools by any means. Blazers did the exact same thing when they took down Yowitt's Mark for over 400 mil. You can see the PKer's hands sweating with adrenaline as he one-ticks a 15-way switch to barely take down the naked Ultimate Iron Man without any food. Mark was frozen in place and so couldn't have run away, but he did have the ability to teleport away and miss his opportunity. He was a pretty good sport about it, and honestly, all of these Ultimate Iron Men were way better behaved than I would have been if I were in that same situation. I have no idea how I could look at this looting bag full of incredibly rare items like the Dragon Hunter lance and crossbow, full armor and bandos, Zenyte jewelry, and all sorts of stacks of herbs for herblore training, and not want to quit after losing it all. Maybe that's the key to playing an Ultimate Iron Man. You've got to be crazy enough already that none of the setbacks drive you mad. By the time you've made it to this point, you've already made such a long list of masochistic, self-defeating decisions that you're numb to the pain of losing hundreds of millions. You say good fight, and you get back to the grind. And that's really what makes RuneScape beautiful. But what if you lost to Tebow? Meet Mega Ampharos, the rank 3 Ultimate Iron Man and one of the most progressed accounts in the entire game. He lost a lot. I wanted to save the best for last, and this is it. This is the biggest PK I've seen in my entire life, and while there may be some larger PKs, this screenshot gets crazier the more and more you look at it. Let's do a quick accounting here. In one single kill, we've got 2 mega rare drops from Chambers of Xeric, a blade of Saildor from the Gauntlet, Arma, Bandos, 2 best in slot boots, Ancestral, a God Sword, a Bludgeon, a Jaw, all Zenyte jewelry, and a whole lot of stacked items. You might be wondering why so many items show up as 65,535. This is 2 to the 16th power minus 1, which is the largest unsigned 16-bit integer. Basically, this is the biggest number that an item on the ground can show, which means that there were actually over 1 million Zulrah scales in the pile, and the stack of gold could easily be in the millions. Reign of Terror, the clan that killed the UIM while doing a master clue, posted their final loot from the kill. After selling it all in the Grand Exchange, they got over 2.3 billion, which could be up to thousands in real dollars. What did Ampharos have to say? Don't do your master clues. Fortunately, for most of these Ultimate Iron Men, not everything is lost. You still keep your stats, your quest progress, your player-owned house, items hidden in stash units around the map, and even gold in various coffers. Even though they lost everything on them permanently, they don't have to rebuild fully from nothing. I should also note that some of these players might have had items in death storage, meaning they're being held by an NPC after dying to a boss like Zulrah or Vorkath. If they die with items in death storage, those items are gone forever, so these UIMs could have lost even more than we saw on the ground. While I was looking for these clips, I ran across a couple of funny moments as well that I wanted to share. Skillspecs once rushed an Ultimate Iron Man who looks like he was boosting a bounty hunter. Although we let him pick up his loot back later, he lost his seed box and over 2,000 herbs. I also saw Ubo, a 10 HP Ultimate Iron Man PKing on PvP worlds, kill a hardcore Iron Man cooking in Lumbridge. I have no idea if this clip is staged or not, but that guy actually was a hardcore Iron Man, and he actually had 99 fire making. I thought that was pretty cool, so I killed an Ultimate Iron Man on my hardcore. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you're interested in Ultimate Iron Man and want to check out some awesome progress series, I personally watch Mudkip and Devious, who are well on their way to maxing, Settled in his Mauritania-only UIM Swampletics, and Turtletail, who does a Taranwin-only UIM. Links to each of their channels are down below. I know this game mode seems intimidating, especially after seeing so many enormous losses, but it can also be incredibly rewarding, and the accomplishments these accounts feel at milestones are astronomical and incredibly fun to watch. If you want to talk about Iron Man, RuneScape, or anything at all, you can feel free to join my Discord server, which is linked below. You can also join the in-game clan chat where I hang out, which is OSRS Curios. I've been Disciple, and I'll see you guys next time.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating. I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. night. I don't need nothing else but you.